Certainly, give credit to Washington State. They beat us today, and there's certainly, we didn't. You got to play the game, and the object is to score one or more points, and we didn't do that, and we didn't score enough to give ourselves a real good chance. And I think that, you look at it, and there's, a game like this, everyone owns it. Starting with myself and each and every person in that locker room, and it can be, an early season game like this. It can be an opportunity, right, to reinforce and to drive and whatever that may be, because we did some things today that make it hard to win. And I think we're double digits in penalties. Certainly had a couple turnovers, and I think, I'm kicking myself for, going forward on 4th and 3. We got a 3rd and 1, and we get stopped right there, and like to have that one back. You kind of set them up with a shorter field, and I think you just look at not often you see in a game, two turnovers that are then turned back over, and they were opportunistic and end up, I think, scoring off of theirs, and we end up getting one, and we end up turning the ball over, again, I think that a lot of guys put, I'm not questioning effort and not questioning anything there. I felt like guys were playing hard, but we you gotta make it to where you're playing the opponent and not doing some things to hurt yourself. And so obviously we gotta be better and can be better.
Jeff,
You mentioned that 4th down call. Generally, in a tight game, you've punted and said my defense is going to pin those guys down there. Why the change? Why just the decision to go for today? What did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I do have confidence in our defense, and I thought that, you're in a position where if you feel good too, and you want your offensively to, right, this is when you gotta deliver on it, and I know a lot of it's result driven, right? That you go but I think that was the thought. I thought, I still do feel confident with our defense certainly, and want to put on the offense. This is you gotta go do something too to win.
Paul, over the last few years, this defense has been so good at when something bad happens, what turnover, whatever it ends up being able to get the quick stop after. What do you think were some of the things today that they just weren't able to convert some of those chances into stops?
Yeah, I mean, we had one early, right? Again, it was their first drive, and they came up, and it was a big play, and I thought there was moments in the game where I thought each side fed off each other well, certainly the end of the first half, and I felt like each one kind of was setting the other side up, and that's how you want to play the game. And then, I think you go and you take a look at the way the second half starts, and we give up a big return, and then I thought our defense did bow up there, and they've got a field goal attempt, but it was a short field, and then offensively come out and we get the 15-yard penalty, and it was just didn't help ourselves, and so I think that certainly we have made some plays, and yet you're gonna look at it, and it's still you got to score points to win, and we gave up 14 or 17. We score 14. We got to be better.
Coach, Vito missed a couple field goals. I guess just wanted to get your thoughts on, if you saw anything that maybe, what went wrong on those kicks. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I don't. Certainly, those games like this, those are all big, right? And I don't know what happened on the second one because that didn't have a chance. You know, in the first one, you know, certainly didn't push us. So I don't know specifically on that one. You know, he's been good in practice and, you know, what we've had, but certainly like to be better. You don't need to be. That can be the difference.
Jeff?
Well, I guess sometimes in practice, you can see if your offensive line is not doing things cleanly. You know, they had a bunch of penalties.
Yeah.
I think 4 of them involving guys. Did you see that in practice, or is this today just a case of guys making plays against you, so they had to grab, reach, things like that?
Probably a little bit of both, right? I mean, you're going. You certainly you can say what you want, but game day you're going to have a lot the speed, right? The speed of it's different. But you know, I thought we had one unnecessary. You know, we're on the edge and we get called for a holding, and you've got you've accomplished what you need to get the play going. You know, so I think there's a sense to how you play, and you know we had a hands to the face. You know, on another big one. You know, we jump off sides. We got to. You know, another one. I'm anxious to see those plays because it's not that you're going to change it, but you know, to your point, what are we? We got to practice right, and are we doing that? And you know, how can you help? This has got to be one that that burns and stings to where it drives you to get better.
Jim?
Why do you think you weren't able to run the ball consistently today?
You know, I think that always you're going to give them credit, right? I mean, they've got a piece of it, and I think that you had moments. We got one third and short, and we're we don't get our puller around, and it's not just on the puller. It's are we getting movement at the line to allow the puller to go through? I think that. Are we climbing on the backside? We didn't get some things started early, and we were getting chased down on the back. We've got to be better at point of attack. I saw that on a couple runs, and then, you got to create some rhythm. I thought, a little bit inconsistent even on the third downs where you can start to get in a flow and get going. And when you can do that, then you're going to start running the ball well. And I thought we were just kind of all over the place that way.
Oh, when you're facing an offense like this that's going to spread you out and force your defense to communicate so much, does it make it hard to play as many young guys and new guys that you had to, just with the injuries in your roster this year?
Yeah, I mean it does. Each offense is gonna test you a little bit differently, and certainly this was one of those. And the week that we had, where the eye discipline and the communication was gonna be important, and yet I still feel after the game, that the guys they understood what they were doing. I mean, they weren't put in an unfavorable position that way, and certainly there's times where when you're in space and I think everyone in here knows that when you face a team that spreads it out, you're going to have more single tackles, and that's where you've got to try to one, make those tackles, two, slow it down, and then the guys got to react back to it, but you do have to play with really, really good discipline, until the play dictates it's, the ball is dictated where it's going, but I thought that I don't know right now that you say we had some because the young guys are bust because of not doing what we should be doing. That didn't seem to be the case as much to me.
Paul, it didn't matter because you scored on it, but you had a delay game penalty out of the timeout.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I mean, we had it and we gave the play early, and it shouldn't happen, right? I mean, it shouldn't happen, and wasn't like had a wrong personnel group in there, and I think we just got to make sure that everyone's in tune. That all right, we're going, and I thought we had a couple, like that were just kind of down at we were pushing the clock a little bit, but certainly coming out of from the sideline, and as everyone knew the play, everyone knew the personnel, shouldn't happen.
Call. Well, how would you assess Graham's play? Obviously, without the benefit of being able to watch the film, but especially on the deeper passes, it seemed like he was giving receivers chances, and some good things happened from those.
Yeah, I thought he did, and I thought that a couple times I thought he pushed it down there when I thought there was something else, maybe a little bit higher percentage. So I am anxious to watch that and see if I was seeing it correctly. And I thought, there's certain times where we knew they were bringing the pressure, and I thought, a couple times he handled it. I thought Lion did a good job, line backs and tight ends did a good job of giving him time to it. But I think there was a stretch. Really, Kay Lewis was the first one that we hit. End of the first half. We had, I think we were 0 for 4, and I see it, but you gotta deliver. But I thought there was some other throws there too, and I thought that he was seeing things clean. I thought that part was pretty good on his end.
Jeff? Well, there were some times when the ball came out of Washington State's quarterback's hands really quickly.
Yeah.
There were also some other times where it looked like you guys did a good job in the back end, but you didn't get all of it in the pass rush. Is that something that you saw as well, that you need to heat that guy up a little bit more than you did today?
Yeah, and he did a nice job of kind of he'd step up and then he'd work back out, and you can tell it's a guy that's played a lot of football, and he kind of understood the situations. Even he'd get out and try to extend it as much as he could, and wasn't afraid to throw it out out of bounds. And I thought that, like you said, there was times where kind of whether it's RPO or kind of a quick screen game that they did a good job with that, and I thought there's times when we defended it well, but I think he is a good quarterback. We thought that going in, and still think that today.